Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Yes, I'm back now. So if anyone did actually notice, doubt it, but if anyone did, I've been away for like a week and a bit because it's been like my birthday and my mum's birthday this week. So every year is a really busy week for my family. So I thought I would just give myself a break considering it was my birthday recently. So yeah, I'm back now. I'm gonna be back to my 3 videos a week. It was nice to have a little break, but I'm back now. So I thought today's video, I'll just do a kind of chilled one, but quite an exciting one as well. So I decided to do a makeup starter kit with drugstore makeup, not necessarily picking out all my favourite products. A lot of them I love, well most of them I love because I've decided to keep them, but a lot of them are just going to be ones that I think are best for beginners or those who maybe don't know a lot about makeup but you kind of starting to use makeup, if that makes sense. So if you're someone that's younger or if you are just a boy or girl who just has never worn makeup and you just decided that you want to. The video is just going to be all about that, so if you would like to know what I'm going to include in my starter kit, then be sure to give this video a thumbs up and just keep watching. So I think I'm just going to go in order of application because that way I just feel like I won't miss anything out, hopefully. So starting off with a face primer, I chose the Soap & Glory Speed Plump All Day Super Moisture Marble Moisturiser. So I have talked about this on my channel many a time. I bought this through Soph Does Nails, that's her name on YouTube. She discovered this as a really nice moisturiser, but it contains glycerin, which is what's in quite a lot of primers, which helps kind of the tackiness and how long it's going to last on your skin. So I thought for a beginner or someone just obviously starting out in makeup, this is going to be a really good primer because it's going to prime your skin and it's also going to moisturize. You don't need to have a separate moisturizer and a separate primer. You've got it all in one in this guy, and it is one of the best primers at the drugstore as well. I love this guy. I use it quite a lot, and yeah, it's super affordable, of course, and it's just a good one. So the next product is a foundation that I'm going to go for. So I picked out 2 different foundations, both from different brands, and the different types of foundations. So the first one I'm just going to breeze through very quickly because I've talked about it in so many videos. It's been in my top 5 foundation videos and everybody and their grandma knows about this guy. It's the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation. I use the shade 220, that's just my perfect shade. I am wearing it today, that's the foundation that I've got on. It's just the best. It isn't necessarily matte, and I think that's why I like it, because it leaves a slight sheen and a slight glow. That being said, it's not going to make you look oily, it doesn't dry out your skin or anything like that, and I think that's why I like it so much. I feel like if it was super mattifying, then I probably wouldn't like it. So for that reason, I think it's really good, and it reminds me of the Peach Perfect foundation from Too Faced because, again, this claims to be matte, but it has a tiny bit of a glow. But this one, it just makes your skin just look like skin. It doesn't feel like you're wearing foundation. It's amazing to wear during the summer and on holiday if you're someone that doesn't feel comfortable wearing just concealer or just not applying any foundation. And this is a really good one for that because, like I said, you can't feel it on your skin, and I think it's really just good for beginners because you can't really go wrong with it. No matter how you apply it, if you use it with a brush or a sponge, I feel like it just looks flawless, and it's just, you're just always going to get good results from it. So that's why I chose it for the starter kit, because it's one of the best and it's really easy to navigate, I guess. The other foundation product I picked out is a stick foundation. This one is from Revolution. This will just give you the coverage that you need without even trying. Literally, like, it's a stick. You're just gonna stripe it on like that. Nothing's gonna drip, nothing's gonna move around on your face. It's just gonna be stuck there, and then you can just blend it out and it's just gonna look really good. The coverage is great, the finish is great, and I like to use this with a brush personally. I know some people use it with a damp sponge like I usually use with normal liquid foundations, but for this stick foundation in particular, I just love using a brush, and I think it just applies a lot better that way. But yeah, obviously it's up to you however you apply your makeup. Obviously it's just up to you, but yeah. Concealers. So I picked out 2 different concealers because it's me and I love so many different products. So I have the Collection Lasting Perfection 16-hour wear concealer, and I use the shade Warm Medium. This is just an oldie but a goodie. It's like such an old OG concealer. It was one of like the first makeup products that I ever got from the drugstore because it was so affordable and I knew everyone raved about it and loved it. So yeah, it's just really good. It's really easy to blend out, and I think they have an okay shade range. I think they've got some more shades now. So yeah, this is a good one. It's just got really nice coverage and it doesn't look heavy or cakey on the skin, and I think it's quite similar to the other concealer that I want to talk about as well, which are the Revolution Conceal and Define concealers. I always have 2 shades on hand because I like a lighter one and a darker one. So if you are someone starting out or you're just a beginner in makeup, then obviously concealer isn't a step that I feel is necessary for everyone. I just use it because I have really deep set dark eyes, especially my under eyes. When I just have foundation on, you can still see them and I hate the way it looks. So concealer is something that I just use on top to cover that. Obviously, if you have no dark circles, if you're a lot younger than me, then you're probably not going to use concealer, or if you don't have blemishes or anything like that, then you can completely skip this step, completely flip it around and not use foundation and just use concealer just where you need to around your face. So yeah, these are 2 very good concealers. I think the Revolution one is definitely more full coverage, so I thought I'd just give 2 different options on whether you prefer a more sheer coverage or a full coverage, but they both blend out and are very easy to work with. So I think for anyone starting out or just a beginner, you got some good concealers here. For powder, this is something, again, I'm just gonna breeze through very fast because everyone knows what it is. I've picked out the Dermablend Loose Powder by Vichy. This you can get from Boots. It's not the cheapest, but you still get it from the drugstore, so I feel like I'm kind of cheating. That's why I picked another one, because it is, to be fair, it's like £16 and that isn't really drugstore price. The drugstore price is maybe 12 max, like 10 to 12. That should be like a max for drugstore, but you can get this brand from Boots, so that's why I picked it, but I don't think it's a drugstore brand, so I'm kind of cheating. But I don't have another loose powder that I love as much as this. I think a good alternative, but isn't as good, is probably the Makeup Revolution loose powders that come in the pots. I have the banana one and I do really love that, but I feel like for a beginner it's probably not the best to use because, I don't know, I feel like you have to be careful how you work with that product, because for me, when I use the Revolution banana powder, it can kind of cling to your concealer and look a bit patchy, so that's why I didn't pick it out for this video, because this one is so smooth, it doesn't cling, it just applies really nicely and smooths out your skin very nicely. So that's why I picked this instead of that one, because I didn't want to suggest one that might be hard to work with for someone starting out, and you know, that's the whole point of this video. I did also pick out a pressed powder. I picked out one of my favourite pressed powders of all time, which is the e.l.f. finishing powder. I have the light/medium one. So this is what the shade looks like. Obviously you can see I used to love this thing. I would use it all the time just to set my whole face. Now I'm just someone who prefers loose powders. They just work with my skin a bit better and they don't look as cakey. But if you're someone who wants a pressed powder, this e.l.f. one is very good. It's really finely milled, so it's not going to look chunky or cakey on the skin. It's going to apply really nice and smoothly. And I feel like you can just, if you just wear concealer and you don't wear foundation, then this will be something good to have to just kind of dip into and just pat over maybe the concealer that you use to cover up a blemish or anything like that. Then that's something good to just kind of have on the go. So yeah, this is a very good pressed powder from the drugstore. So I completely skipped out cream contour because personally I think for someone starting out in makeup or a beginner, cream contour is not necessarily something that I think you need. So I picked out a kind of like kit, well it's like a palette, and I think this would just be great for bronzing and contouring. It's by NYX, it's their Highlight and Contour Pro palette. I don't know if this is, I don't think it has a shade. And this is a very good palette because you have a variety of shades. So if you are someone that's quite fair, this is a good contour shade. And for someone with deep skin, I don't know 100% obviously if that's going to be deep enough. But I apologise on NYX's behalf for not having a deep enough shade. Do highlight shades up here for like the brow bone or even like face highlight, And then this is a good face highlight over here, and then you have a banana shade, which again you can obviously use on your face. But as far as bronzing and contouring goes, I usually use this one as a bronzer, and then this one I usually mix those two to contour with because they're quite cool toned, and I think they're really easy to use. They don't look ashy, they don't look like mud when you kind of blend them onto the skin. They're seamless when you blend them, so I think these next ones are really good. I also pick like an alternative, so I've got another bronzer that I just really love and I think is really good for beginners. So I picked out the NYX No Filter Finishing Powder. So I thought this would literally be the best bronzer because it's a face powder. This is a mistake that kind of everyone has definitely done. If you haven't, then you're a makeup genius and you're blessed. But I used to pack on way too much bronzer and I used to look like tangerine and I just looked gross and orange and horrible. I'd get the wrong shade, I'd put too much on and I wouldn't match it with my body or my foundation and it just looked a hot mess. So to avoid that happening, I picked out a face powder because I thought if it's a face powder, it's just gonna work into your skin a lot better than a bronzer because this is a face powder, so it's designed to melt into your skin and just sit well with whatever you've already got on. So I feel like for a beginner you can't go wrong by using a face powder. So I picked out the shade Golden. This is the shade that I use to bronze. It's a really nice shade, especially for anyone that's a similar skin tone to me. You're gonna go places with this. Ain't gonna look orange, ain't gonna look tangerine-y like you've got a fake tan gross bronze going on. It's gonna look nice, it's finely milled and it just blends really nicely as well. So for the blush, I just picked out one that I think is like the best nude blush you can get from the drugstore. So this is by the brand Essence and it's broken. But the Satin Touch blush and it's in the shade Satin Bronze. This is one of my favourite blushes just of all time. Can't find it in stores anymore, which is a bit annoying. So I've just got this broken one to last me all of eternity because I feel like it's a shade that you can't really go wrong with. It's just a perfect kind of peachy nude because I feel like with blushes you can really just go from right with your bronzer and your highlight and everything on, and then you're like, oh, let's just add some blush, and you'll just pack on the most pink, horrible, gross, too pigmented blush, and then you're gonna look like a clown. So I feel like if you use a nude blush like this, just like this, then go in with a light hand and it's gonna be the best. For someone starting out and new to makeup, this is gonna be a friend because it's just a really good all around neutral nude shade, and the formula is really nice. They're very soft and very creamy. And to highlights, I picked out two different highlighters. One you can't get from the drugstore, so I'm sorry, but it's a drugstore price and you can still get it even in the UK. So the first one I picked is by Milani, and this is the strobe light powder and it's in the shade Day Glow. So I picked this one because this is just really easy to use. I feel like it's not too pigmented, but you can really build this highlight up, and I feel like no matter how much you kind of pack on with this, it just doesn't look cakey. It just leaves a really nice sheen. So I feel like for someone starting out, this is going to be a really easy highlighter to kind of navigate around because you can't go wrong with it, basically. A subtle highlight, I'd say you can definitely build it up, but I'd keep it for more of like an everyday. I wouldn't wear this on a night out for sure. I'd keep this for like an everyday natural glow. Also a beginner, but you know that you're going to want to glow a lot. Master Chrome by Maybelline. Just don't think twice about it. Go into Boots or Superdrug, pick this up. They have a lighter shade and I think a darker one as well for all the skin tones, and just buy it because this is the best drugstore highlight of all time. I haven't come across one that's better than this so far, so just get it. But I think I'm just gonna go on to setting spray, which is a bit odd, but this is kind of similar to a video that you'll see later on in the week because some of the products are kind of overlapping, but it's because the videos are kind of similar. The setting spray that I chose is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set, and I've also chosen the Milani one as well, but I've run out of that so I don't have it to show you, but you all know what it looks like. yeah, they're both really good, affordable setting sprays. I don't really know what else to say about setting sprays except they do both actually make your makeup last. Well, I find that they both do, and they don't have crappy mists. Like this, it's powerful, but it's a good mist. On to the eyes. I picked out two different things, not two different palettes, two different things. So to start off with the eyeshadow palette, I did pick out the Soph and Revolution, the Extra Spice eyeshadow palette. I didn't pick out the first one because for me, this formula is far better than the first palette. It is so much more pigmented, so you don't have to keep dipping your brush in there repeatedly. And they just blend so much more easier than the other palette on the eyes. So yeah, this is definitely the palette that I would choose as a beginner palette. I feel like it's got a good shade range. Even for someone that prefers cooler tones, you've still got that over in this region and even down here as well. So I feel like you got the best of both worlds with this palette because you can go from day to night, warm to cool tone, whatever you want. You've got everything in here. It's like a £10 palette. The product that I picked out is something that I have loved for years, and it's the Maybelline Colour Tattoo in the shade On and On Bronze. That's the one. So this is what it looks like. I'll give you a close-up so you can see the shade. It's just like a bronzy, warm but cool chocolate brown. I'd say that's how I'd describe the shade. And if you've never used or seen any of these Maybelline colour tattoos before, they're basically like it's like a cream shadow. This is just really good to just pack over your lid, and for someone starting out, I feel like no matter what eye colour you have, no matter what skin tone you are, this is just a perfect all-around shade that's going to fit kind of anyone, I guess, because I've used this on my mum, I've used it on a friend before. I think I've used this on my auntie when I've like done her makeup a few years ago, and everyone's liked it, whoever I've used it on. So I feel like it's a tried and true, it's good, they're easy to use. I just use a brush and just kind of swipe it on and then tidy up and all that. So yeah, this is a really good one to use. Then for eyeliner, again, this is like a one that's going to be repeated in a video that's coming up as well, but I just picked out the Rimmel Exaggerate eyeliner. This is just so easy to use. It's my favourite eyeliner from the drugstore. I've used it so many times. It's got a really fine tip. It's like a mix between a liquid liner and a felt tip. It's so easy to use and I just love this. It's super black. I am wearing it kind of on the top lash line. I didn't do a wing, but I've got that on today and I think it's great. It's just an all around great eyeliner. So for someone starting out, this is definitely a good one. And for mascara, I was going to choose my favourite mascara, which is the L'Oreal Paradise Mascara, but I don't think that's best for someone starting out in makeup because I feel like it can get clumpy if you don't know how to apply it properly. Use one that is just 100% clump free. Is great for every day, but you can build it up with no clumps and it's still going to volumize your lashes really well. So I chose the Maybelline Colossal Volume Express mascara anyway, and I just think it's just perfect for every day and it's a great mascara for someone who's never maybe worn mascara before. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It just volumizes very well. It doesn't necessarily lengthen that much because I'm not someone that gets mascaras to lengthen because we all know about my spidery lashes. They're long enough as they are, so I just get volumizing mascaras usually. I have the final category, which is one of my favorite categories, which is lips. I know I picked a new formula, not a new formula, but a kind of new product to me, and I think they're new anyway. So I chose the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner. These are the pencil ones because these are so good. They're so creamy and they're just so easy to apply. That's all I'm gonna say about it. There's nothing bad about it. They're so easy to work with. I keep this in my work bag. I've got another shade that I love just keeping in my work bag because they're so easy to just pop on. And for the lipsticks, I kind of picked a liquid lip and then a actual lipstick. Maybelline Colour Sensational Matte Lipstick in the shade Clay Crush. To be fair, it doesn't matter what shade you use, obviously. This is one of the best nudes for me. This is a really good formula. They're so comfortable to wear. They're by far my favourite matte, like actual lipsticks. at the drugstore. I've never come across any that I prefer more. And they are matte. They are matte. They don't come off that easily, as in like when you're eating. Obviously, if you're taking it off with a makeup wipe, it's not going to be a hassle. Something great to have in your kit. The one that I picked is probably the easiest because it's just easy, okay? These are the NYX Soft Matte Lip Creams. I picked the shade London because it's just a really nice nude. It's one of my favourites. This and Abu Dhabi, they're good nudes. I talked about these on my channel before. I seriously love them. I said that this is my favourite actual lipstick because these are my favourite lip products you can get from the drugstore. They're seriously just the best. Again, they're really easy to use. The formula dries so quickly, which is good because if you're in a rush and you just really want to put something on super quick and be out the door, you're not gonna be hassling around like, oh, is it dried yet? And having to do like a kiss test. It's just gonna dry and you're good to go. But it's not like too drying on the lips where it will be matte, but it's not dry, if that makes sense. So it's gonna feel comfortable, but it's still gonna look matte, but it won't feel matte, if that makes sense, because it's so comfortable. Like, I know that probably doesn't make sense, like I've kind of contradicted everything I've said, but if you get me, then I feel like my work is done. If you don't, I don't know how to explain that anymore, so whatevs. The end of the video, guys, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, then be sure to give this a thumbs up and make sure that you're subscribed as well so you don't miss any videos from me. Like I said in the intro, I'm back now, so 3 days a week I'm gonna be here. Make sure you join me. So thanks again so much for watching. See you in my next video. Bye. I was gonna say makeup forever. It's good. What?